such an asshole.
Hey kids, how you doing? AssholeConsulting.com. Let's get to it. Hi, Aaron. I'm a 25-year-old male. Recently left my toxic corporate banking job of 4 years. Good for you, man. Good for you. Fuck banking. No one should work in banking. No one. You just shouldn't work in banking. To pursue a college degree in computer engineering. Studies are full-time, so I had to make a compromise. It's the first time since high school that I'm unemployed. My question is how to deal with uncertainty as an adult while you are working towards a goal, but do not know if you're going to make it in today's market. Okay, well, let's provide some caveats or some undeniable truths. You don't know if you're going to make it, and you never will. All right, it's the baby boomer. And it's not even boomers. It's kind of people my age. I was thinking about getting into IT, but I heard they discriminate against old people like me. Oh, well, then fuck it. Don't do anything. Is it too late to? That's a wrong question. Is it too late to get in shape, make more money, go have fun, get a blowjob? It's never too late because you still have life left over. If I say, no, it's too late, it's over, end it. That's the logical solution, right? End it. Well, if it's too late, or if it may not come out that way, well, then don't do it. And now you are at the paradox or the self-fulfilling prophecy of defeat. Well, the girl might say no. Oh, shit, the girl might say no. Well, don't ask out girls ever again. Like you guarantee your failure. You guarantee your doom. So this, gee, what if it does it? Well, then it doesn't work out, and you got to come up with another plan. But yeah, just so you know, you don't know if you're going to make it. But I'll tell you this: you're going to stand a lot fucking better chance of making it than fucking. I'm gonna be a Democrat adult and whine and complain and sit in my own piss and shit because that's what adult Democrats do. They shit and piss themselves in public. I'm gonna be here and be whiny, and it's like, oh yeah, look how well that works for the non-attempters in life, the people who don't attempt at life. Well, look at your average welfare bums, your generations of family on welfare. Oh my God, it's not fair. Well, go ask all these millennials that have student loan debt, including Gen Xers too. I might. No, you know what? Let's switch that around because millennials are younger than Gen Xers. If you didn't know, you take a look now. It might be different in the past 2 years since I last looked this up. Gen X actually has the majority, or the plurality, I should say, of student loan debt. I think because they went off to grad school. What's that like being a fucking 50-year-old? Like, I need a student loan bailout. I still have student debt. Nothing's in my control. Blah, blah, blah. I shouldn't have to try. I don't know. And I mean, there it's like, dude, it's kind of over for you, don't you think? That the alternative to what if I fail is, okay, sit there and do nothing. Like literally waste your life. And then that brings out a very important philosophical point. Why are you alive then? You should be more afraid of sitting on your ass and doing nothing and having the life of an adult Democrat who lives at home with his parents, collects government, disability checks and all that, high on Adderall. You're trying to force off the pain of your pathetic, miserable, insufferable existence with drugs and alcohol and food and stimmy checks and video games and Nebraska. Look it up. Do you want that life, or do you want to actually become a grown fucking adult and like, oh shit, well, we better do something. All right, so that we got to kill that. I don't know if I'm going to make it. You're right, you don't. But you know what? You took a shot at a degree, I presume a degree in finance, or at least a career in finance. You took your shot. You didn't make it. You didn't, quote, succeed terribly, but you didn't fail either. I imagine they paid you. I'd imagine you didn't starve. You have some years working experience, and now you know. Rarely is it in America today you're facing like a war decision where like, well, if I don't make it, that means we're dead. No, it just means, well, you wasted 2 years in college, or you bought a car you shouldn't have afforded, or you dated the wrong girl, which oftentimes can be more painful than death and war. I'm just telling. At least in death, you're dead. You don't feel the pain anymore. You got the wrong girl. Like, oh my God, it doesn't end. Go the fuck away. So let's eliminate the fear there. My financial situation is good. No debt, no girlfriend. Good. So you got no liabilities. This should be pretty easy. Could you imagine being a single mom with a bunch of half sibling, half related, half breed children? Like they all have a different fight. Could you just imagine being a single mom of 3? Could you imagine that? Okay. Could you imagine having debt? Could you imagine being the average American dipshit with a shit ton of car debt, shit ton of credit card debt, living paycheck to paycheck? Oh, but you need your tattoos, okay? You need your tattoos. Those are really fucking important. Dude, you got, of all the people that is probably going to make it, it's you. You're carrying no weight. You got no liabilities. You're doing well. My financial situation is good. No debt, no girlfriend. Have a stable place to live, in shape, and have savings for another 5 months. You're great. Studies in Eastern Europe don't cost a fortune, so it's affordable. I want to become a network engineer, so during the summertime, I self-studied and acquired a CompTIA Network Plus certification. Good for you. But during this time, I isolated myself and feel quite stressed out about the future. Okay, we'll get to that. I mean, you isolated yourself. Yes, to have success requires pain. I isolated myself. What do you think? I wrote a book. Bachelor Pad Economics was written in 3 months. And all I did was sit in a fucking room for 3 months, 16 hours a day. I was working security for a buddy. Oh God, that was a mental challenge. Same thing with college. Most of the, I mean, I know I had a great team working security, but most of it you were by yourself. All right. It was a very lonely job. It's just maybe why we all appreciated each other when we got back to check out over at the HQ. But yeah, you're gonna please, dude, man, oh man, don't hit me up with them white girl blood from the suburbs so early in the morning. All right, if you don't know, that's oddball on the thumbnail. I don't want to hear you. What about this? What about that? Oh my God. Don't become Beaker. Swear to God, don't become Beaker. You're not a liberal white girl from the suburbs, okay? You're not a privileged little bitch. All right? You've worked. Okay. You're gonna be fine, man. It's gonna be all okay. All right. You're starting to get a little neurotic worrying about shit that you don't control. And it's gonna grate on people aside from you. Okay. Finish it up here. I feel quite stressed out about the future. I'm looking for a part-time job to make more money, but feel embarrassed that I have to start over and go back to jobs that worked right after high school. So does everybody else. Don't feel bad about, dude. I worked security until I was in my mid to late 40s. I'd still work it again. I just haven't applied to the local security company here, and that was Minnesota. There's not, dude. No, I know you're 25. You're probably at that peak. Oh my God, my 10-year reunion, if you even have 10-year reunions in Eastern Europe, you're fine, man. Don't worry about it. Dude, there is no shame working security or jobs to get by or part-time jobs. I don't know which country you're in. I can't imagine it's as bad as the United States, where everyone is fucking faking the dick size over here, or the bra size, ladies, to include you into the analysis. Dude, fuck that shit. Don't worry about what people think. Rule number 1, fuck what people think about you. Go do what's best for you. If that happens to be working a nighttime security guard job or being a bartender or whatever, go do it. You need to make the money. And a lot of people, they don't figure this. Dude, you know how long it took me? 11 years later than it took you to figure out to get the fuck out of banking. 11 years. And I remember coming back, and that's what I mean, I was always working security anyway, but that's when I really like did that full time. Here I am, 37, 38-year-old man working security. I mean, I did other things and had books were starting to take off and all that other stuff. Hell, that's how Asshole Consulting kind of got founded about that time ago. So, man, yeah, man, go work and then you'll get your CompTIA certification. And then in 2 to 3 years, you'll be CompTIA certified. They said, what did you do? Well, I tried a stint in banking, it didn't work. And then I had to go back and retool for 3 years. So now I'm an entry level IT guy. I don't know. I network computers at the local place. Whatever it is, you'll be doing kind of entry level, low level computer networking stuff. And then there's going to be dickheads who, oh, I'm a banker, I'm a they're all lying. I cannot emphasize. Trust me, as a man who's about any moment now to get a gray pube, I think, don't y'all? They got to get gray. I don't know if pubes turn gray. I got gray hair, but I'm waiting for the day of my first gray pube. As a man who's on the precipice of getting his first gray pube, please allow me to explain. Everyone is a lying sack of shit. The men and women who actually have made money that I've known personally, they don't tell you about it. They shut the fuck up about it. Everybody else out there, oh my God, you're back in school. Yeah, that person is in a ton of debt. They're going through a miserable fucking marriage. Da, 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 da. It's all fake and hey, look over there. Look over there. So don't worry. You got to do what you got to do to get financial stability once again. Finding a girlfriend is out of the picture for me now. Why? I got plenty of blowjobs and sex work and security. Not at the employer who thinks that I'm talking about them. I never did it at your job, sirs. It was the other place I worked. The other place, but not you. I like you guys the best. That's why I never had sex on the job. So what? If you got a girl she likes, why would you unnecessarily remove that from your life? If there's a girl who wants to go, oh, wait, I'm not in a position right now financially to have you come over and have sex or date or whatever, don't throw that out. It's unnecessary. And I think I became a statistic of lonely unemployment men who don't contribute to society much. All right, now you sound like a whiny little bitch right now. Knock it the fuck off. You worked 4 years in banking. That's good. Are you collecting a government check? No. No debt? That means you didn't take other people's money and time. You didn't steal other people's money. You have a stable place to live. You got good finances. Compare yourself to, I got to imagine you're Europe, right? You mentioned Europe. Compare yourself to the average European. Don't they still live at home and like 39 years old and get everything for fucking free? And they sit there with their dick in their hand like, we drink the vino and the wine. By large, Signor Clary. You must live to live life. You know, like the pigs nations, Portugal, Italy, Greece, and Spain. Where it's like, we work 15 hours. Oh, you Americans, you don't know how to live like us over in España, where we sit and we work 15. ¿Por qué no dinero? ¿Dónde está mi free medical care? Are you a parasite? You're not. You're better than the average Westerner, period. We'll throw America and Canada off. Canada's parasitic. Like, oh my God. What's the new national anthem over in Canada? Oh, Canada, suck Trudeau's dick some more. Spray your cum of free money over our socialist faces. Is that the song you got going now on in Canada? I'm sorry. Trudeau is such a fucking butts. So you're fine. I don't see why you may not be personally meeting your personal standards and expectations. That doesn't mean a girl isn't going to find you attractive or that you are objectively a loser. You are not a loser. Can you advise and maybe share your own experiences in your mid to late 20s on how to overcome uncertainty, keep the motivation going forward? Like, oh, you want email? Shit. Fuck. Oh, video response cost 40. Please keep my name anonymous. Okay, good. We do have that. Yeah, no, I won't say anything. I mean, you're not gonna be identified. Let's go back. How do you deal with uncertainty as an adult while working towards your goal, but you do not know if you're going to make it? All right, we already discussed you don't know. Nobody knows if they're going to make it, but you guarantee you're not going to make it if you don't try. We've already established that. Now, how do you deal with the uncertainty? You mean the stress and the worry that comes with future outcomes you don't fully control? All right. That's understandable. This is why all men and women, but we know you girls is Don't listen to him. He's got a penis. What does he know? Keep listening to your professors, ladies. See how happy you are. Oh, here's a new prescription of antidepressants. Now go away. um, this is everyone faces this. All right. Everyone faces this. And when I was younger, I was in somewhat similar situations and worrying about things. And it's real important, especially the younger you are, to learn this because your life is going to be a lot easier. Now, it's going to be the exact same life. Like right now, let's say you learn stoicism, you learn to be stoic. All right. That is actually not going to change your future life. It is going to change how much you worry and ultimately lessen your life. And the sooner you become a stoic, the sooner you will eliminate all the unnecessary worry that is going to come down this road, this path, your life that's going to happen the exact same way it's going to happen. It's just whether you're going to worry about it or not. And the quote, it's not me. I think it was Confucius. It was an Asian dude. He said something, worry is the unnecessary, meaning not needed, interest you pay on the debt that has to be repaid. And there's been times in my life where something really bad happened. The bad thing had to either be dealt with or paid for or accepted or whatever. And all the worry I had, all of it was unnecessary because at the end of the day, it had to be repaid. Or, like let's say you lose somebody, someone dies and you care about them greatly. It doesn't matter how much worrying. I mean, like a true iron strength stoic would have the love of their life gone, but would not mourn them. I mean, they might mourn them. God, I miss them. And there'd be an honorable respect and missing of that person, but they wouldn't cry over it because they would get to the acceptance stage immediately and say, well, they're dead. I can't bring them back. Time to move on. Now, nobody's that inhuman. Nobody is that robotic, but that's that's the ideal that you would be aiming for. All right. Did you control the banking industry wherever the hell you work? No, you didn't. It's a bunch of needle dick, idiotic, dick sucking motherfuckers, like it is in every financial market, every finance industry in all the countries in the world. That ain't your fault. All right. Don't worry about it. You're in this situation now. You probably quit for very good health reasons, mental health reasons. You're like, fuck this shit. I'm not doing this criminal shit no more. So you're already better off. Oh my God, but I'm not. Oh, where'd the money go? You're right. You're right. Where did the money go? Where's the money going to come from? You know what? You can either worry about it or not. The problem is still the same. You still got to figure out where to get the money. The question is whether you're going to unnecessarily worry about it. Yes, you will have to get a part-time job. I don't know how it is in Europe, but I'm going to strongly recommend you look at security where you can study at night and also get paid. I don't know how it works again in Europe, but here in the United States, you can typically find a security job overnight where you got to do your duties in your patrol or whatever, but then you're allowed to study or do whatever you want. I've written many books and gotten a handful of blowjobs and sex working security. Not at your firms, people. Not at the ones that you were at. No, I never did. No, not there. It was the other place. I'm kidding. It wasn't that common. It wasn't like having parties. I did my job. Point is, uh, you you're gonna have to get some kind of part-time job. You're gonna have to get some kind of job. You're gonna have to tighten your belt. You were wise enough to save 5 months of expenses. You're going to go to an affordable school. These are all things you have to do. So you might as well not worry about it because it's out of your control. So once you realize that, okay, you're going to be without money, you're going to have to, if you can stop worrying about it because you don't control it, the fact that you have less income coming in, that's going to make your life a lot better. Right now, going forward, another aspect of your particular situation, you have to go to school. You have to get your certifications. Now, the average person would worry about that, right? Oh my God, all this work I have to do, all the studying I have to do. Right. But you have to do it. There's no reason for you to worry about it now. You actually sap away energy. I've had this. Let me give you another analogy, an example. I found I hate working out. I hate the gym. It's the least favorite part of my life. I hate it. It's boring. It's dumb. It's okay. It's not, it is dumb. It's for wise purposes, but it's dumb. And once I figured out I was spending so much energy worrying about the upcoming gym workout that I had to do, once I let go of it and just accepted it, I have extra energy and I'm in a better mood. And the gym actually isn't as bad. You just go there. You don't think about it. You got to do it. Same thing. Do you worry about putting gas in your car? No, you got to put it in the car. Just it's a fact of life. Do you worry about eating? No, you got to eat. You don't worry about oh my God, am I going to eat? Yes, you're going to eat. You need to do that, but you don't obsess about the obligation. So if you could take those obligations that are going to happen no matter what and just accept them and not worry about them, you lessen the amount, hopefully eliminate the amount of worrying in your life. So, yes, you have some obligations ahead of you. These obligations are going to cost you a very specific amount of money and calories of energy and time. You can choose to have it only be the number of calories of energy, money, and time. You can choose that price, or you can add a bunch of fucking worry on top of it and pay that added 30-40% and have your mental health suffer because of it. And that, dude, it's hard. I'm not trying to be condescending at all. It is hard because these things directly affect you. And what do you do but worry? Like, I mean, another perfect example, this will apply in most men's lives. You're going to have the one that got away. Now you can hem and haw and worry, and what could I have done, and replay it in your mind. And is there a strategy? No, no, no. She's sucking another guy's dick. That's gone. She's gone. All right. And a lot of you guys, if a lot of you, divorce dad does a great job where he's like, I will win her back. Why would you waste your time worrying about trying to win her back when you can't? She's gone. That boat is sailed. It's out of here. Stop worrying about it. So it's hard. It's very hard. If you're emotionally invested, it threatens your life, it threatens your financial livelihood. I understand it still doesn't change the fact that these are real things that are unavoidable and you must accept them. And if you have to accept them, you should not worry about them. Okay. So here's the four. You need processes. You need a process to go through, which will help with this. Right? These are your four steps, your four obligations you have to stoicism. So this assumes you realize, okay, a thing has happened. It's a bad thing. I now have a future liability, or I am going to be poor, or there's going to be a cost in the future, right? So your first step, you just got to accept it. Mentally get into that state. I'm going to accept it, right? And then there are only really four things you have an obligation to. All right. So first, do everything you can to make it as easy as possible and remedy the situation. All right. Now, this depends on the situation, but in your particular case, oh my God, I'm changing careers. Well, what are the things you can do? Work a second job or work a part time job, maybe no full time job. Do research on finding jobs that allow you to study and work at the same time, which will expedite. That's what I strongly recommend, which will expedite your studying and research. You have to study and study hard and make sure you do it right. Put the effort into it. Put in the added effort of applying for internships or maybe finding some side work right now on the side. And then I think the fifth thing, as it pertains to what can you possibly do, is you cut your expenses to the bare bone. I'm not saying sacrifice sleep. I'm not saying sacrifice work or food. Don't do either of those. I did that. It's not worth it. Go take your time. Take another couple years if you have to. All right. But those are the five things that you can do. That's step one. Do everything within your power to mitigate and lessen the damage or to control the outcome in the best possible light. Second, once you do everything you could possibly do, I don't mean possibly, I mean there's things that just aren't worth your time. But once you've done everything that you can reasonably do to result in the best outcome, like you want to get a girl to go on a date with you, you work out, you dress nice, you put on some cologne, you get a nice haircut, you charm the girl at wherever it is, school or the office or the bar that you're at, and then you ask the girl out. That's it. You've done all you could do, right? And then the step number 2 is realize you're done. Right? It's like it's kinda like being a chef. You're gonna make the best cupcake you possibly can, and you get the ingredients, and you do that, and you cook it at the right time, and you use that organic butter or whatever it is, and then here's the final product. You put it on a plate, and you give it to a person. That's it, you're done. All, not most, not some, all of your responsibility is done. You are free now. This is the point in time you should say, "Nope, I'm done worrying about it." All my worry and concern was put into the preliminary, preparation work to deal with this issue, to overcome this hurdle, to deal with the problem, or to aim for the success. I've done everything I could. I went to the gym. I brushed my teeth. I whitened my teeth. I did this thing. I bleached my asshole, whatever people in California do. Although, well, you girls in California like criminals and people who shit their pants, right? Because you keep voting for that. All right, never mind. Whatever you do culturally, that's very popular to make you attractive. In normal world, it's hit the gym, be good looking, and then you were charming and everything like that. Once you ask the girl out, you have given her the ball. Once you deliver the cupcake, you have given them the ball. It is no longer in your court and it is no longer your responsibility. And regardless of the outcome, you should stop worrying about it because it's up to them. And that's a lot of something that young people, or a lot of people, got to realize. You don't control everything. There's a whole other world out there called the other world. And there's other people with other things. And they got to come along with you too. And you don't control that. I kind of find it very interesting and fascinating. A lot of men are, in some ways, rightfully so. I can't believe women just find 80% of men unattractive and they're this and that, and they're doing their stupid women irrational, illogical things, and they say one thing and and I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, that'd be frustrating too, especially if I had a genetically programmed interest in wanting to form a relationship with them, meaning have sex. It's the euphemistic way of saying get laid. But at the end of the day, you got to acknowledge, well, there are other people. I mean, there's another person involved. You could do all you want, but at the end of the day, that person has to want to have the relationship with you. The boss, your employer, should want to have to give you the job. You just can't demand a job. So you do everything you possibly can. All right. It's called responsibility. Then you give it to them. Then there's the proposal, or then there's executing the plan. And once you've done that, it's out of your control. You shouldn't have to worry about it. And that person, that employer, or the world will determine whether or not your offer, for lack of a better word, will be accepted or successful. And if it is, cool. If not, we'll get to step number 4. All right. So, did all the work. Step 1, you've done all the work. Step 2, you acknowledge you're done. Right? We're done now. And step 3 is you don't worry. Right? Sounds like you put in a lot of effort. Sounds like you've done a lot of wise decision making. You didn't spend your money. All right. You've done everything you can. And now comes the hard part about stoicism, is not worrying. You got diagnosed with cancer. Okay. I started changing my diet, whatever. You gave up the cigarettes. You're eating, you're fasting. You're doing all this stuff. You went to the chemo. Da, 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 da. That's it, man. Don't worry about it. You're done. You've done everything you could. So for the rest of your life, don't waste it worrying about it. Like, you ask a girl, and I got to this place a little bit earlier. You ask a girl out, she said, no, okay, cool. You didn't even worry. I mean, again, a lot of times, happened twice. Uh, Escort Charlie. Charlie, go ahead. Can you call dispatch? Yeah. What's up? A girl says you have a date with her tonight. Oh, fuck. Shit. I thought they just really, girls just stood you up that much, man. It was just like, oh shit. Oh, okay. But you get to the point, you don't worry. And that is a higher standard of living you're going to enjoy than having the exact same outcome going to happen anyway, because it's out of your control. Not worrying about it, then worrying about it, things that are out of your control. And then 4, make contingency plans. All right. What if I don't succeed? Well, you're going to have to come up with another plan. Oh, I worked part time and I paid off my computer networking school, and I have my certifications. And then there's a tech recession. What do you do? I guess you have to have a contingency plan. So what about accounting? Not to say that you got to keep on trying different careers and professions. You have to say, well, okay, maybe things are bad or tight now due to the economy or the recession or the industry, but I could keep working my security guard job or my bartender job or my Uber job. I could keep saving my money. That's all right. I'll get by. But I don't control the industry. I don't control where the economy goes into recession. I got a legitimate and pretty good certification. Right? And then you go back to step 1. Work as hard as you can. Okay, I got my certification, but we're in a recession. Well, I'm gonna offer to do some work anyway. I'm gonna set up a little entrepreneurship shop, computer repair, something, anything. That's gonna be up to you. Oh, this doesn't work. Well, in the meantime, I'm gonna learn how to do accounting because those Americans love their income tax system and they'll never let that fucking go. They're too stupid to have sales tax. Too stupid, I say, and you'd be right because Americans are fucking stupid. But the sooner, and you're only a quarter century old, you're like half my age, man. Dude, if I could get rid of well, it's not a quarter century. If I could get rid of 15 years of unnecessary worry, I would have. Just do it sounds like you've done everything you can, right? And now the way you deal with that worry or what's the word you used? Uncertainty is you don't worry about it. There is always going to be uncertainty. Always. And you don't control that uncertainty. And so do not worry about anything that is uncertain and out of your control. Is the girl going to go on the date with you or not? Don't worry. Not your concern. Not your concern. Oh, hang on. Is the internet going to go out or not? Look how I adapted. See, I don't control South Dakota internet. That's up to the South Dakota internet gods. But I adapted. I moved where I'm like, I'm going to come up with a catchy country South Dakota tune with some AI generated comic book girl with big tits. And we all have a funny laugh and you all make fun of me for being my South Dakota internet. Right? But if you could get this philosophy down early, your mental health, and by consequence, the less cortisol, the less stress you have, the less stroke, the less heart attack, you're going to live a much better life and very likely a longer life. Right. So there, if you sounds like you're doing everything you need to do. And yes, pot calling the kettle black when I was like, what do I got? Oh my God. Well, like, nope, there's nothing else for you to do. And so that's why you should like there's a scene, that's why I have Oddball from Kelly's Heroes. There's a scene in Kelly's Heroes where they're trying to take over a German town and in the middle of a battle, and Kelly, played by Clint Eastwood, comes up upon Oddball, the tank commander. Oddball's drinking wine and eating cheese, just sitting in a chair. He's like, no, it's Telly Savalas. He's like, what the hell is this? He's like, oh, hey, man, what are you doing? What are you doing? He's like, oh, drinking wine, eating cheese, catching some rays, you know. He's like, well, what's wrong with this? He says, oh, the tank is broken. They're trying to fix it. And he's like, well, why the fuck aren't you up there helping him? He says, oh, I only ride him. I don't know what makes him work. Like, if you could get to that level, you're in a battle with the Germans and your tank is broke, but you're like, well, there's nothing I can do. You know, Saint Oddball, the patron saint of Stoicism. And your life is going to be a lot better if you like Oddball, man. It's going to be a lot better than you like Oddball than pretty much anyone else alive today. And if to give you any kind of encouragement, because I can't guarantee anything, because I don't control the future. Uh, you're in a great position, man. You ain't got no kids, you ain't got no wife, you ain't got no debt, you ain't got no car payment, you got 5 months savings, you're good. And fucking Christ, don't worry about these dipshits who are still stuck in middle school thinking this is a popularity game. Don't worry about that. So, link below, because Stoicism is hard, yet it is necessary. The best book on Stoicism, I'm being very serious about this. This isn't because we're colleagues. There's a book called The Way of Monkey book by Turd Flinging Monkey. A lot of people recommend Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, which is fine. That's not a bad one either. I prefer The Way of Monkey book because it's more modern. So I have that link below, and I strongly recommend you get the Way of Monkey book and read through that and hold on to it, kind of like maybe a devotional or a reference book. Like, oh wait, what does this book say about that? And so I would strongly recommend the Way of Monkey book. And then also a link below is The Dad You Never Had. I wouldn't be employed if people had fathers that did their fucking job. Not to say that my course, The Dad You Never Had, is some great long course on Stoicism, but it is about practical, effective advice that if you followed it, you guys can avoid these situations. I mean, there's no life where it ain't going to be a problem. All right. There ain't going to be no life where you're not facing tremendous hurdles and challenges, but you can lessen the amount and the severity and frequency of these hurdles and challenges by making wise decisions up front, which is the fucking jobs your dad should have done. But fuck it. Come on, baby, light my fire. That's why I put together a course with both love and anger and rage all in one called The Dad You Never Had. That's linked below, but if you can't find it in the link below, it's on teachable.com. Search The Dad You Never Had. Let's go to the super chats. Rez Mungao, Brazil, 2 Brazilian reals. New guy here. Do you mean it or is it sarcasm, Cappy? Talk to you No, I do mean it. Yes, you should. You have to. Every woman should also become look. You don't control everything, guys. And man, my life would have been a lot better without the worry. Would have been the exact same life. Would have been a lot better without the worry. But yeah, why wouldn't someone become a stoic? Wiz Division Productions, $2. Just play That's Life by Frank Sinatra on repeat. Yeah, that's a good one too. Die Castinator, $2. What is your cool piece of shit car that you bought for 7,000? I won't tell anyone. I'll tell you this. I will tell you this. It's a Buick. I'm gonna let you guys figure out which. I don't think you'll guess it, man. I don't think you'll guess because I got a very, very, very unique reason. And no, I don't think people are gonna guess why. Let's put it this. Okay, I'll give you a hint. People see it, they're like, what the fuck? But then we go somewhere, they're like, oh, I get it now. I'm like, yeah. Sam Whiskey, most American name in America, $10. Always have a plan B. And yes means maybe and grow. I don't even give them maybe. You just the the flighty, absent-minded little child, boy or girl, just little 3-year-old kid. You could go to I've had 3-year-old nieces. You could go to the 3-year-old niece and nephew like, hey, at 7 p.m. sharp, do you want to go do activity? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. They're not going to know 7 p.m. Just girls, this is what you get now. This is what you get. This is the lack of responsibility of previous generations of women, perhaps yourself. You can't stand people up or flake or ghost on people, then expect men like, oh, yes, let me set reservations at Ruth's Chris. The best you get is, hey, meet me here at this time. And here is a boring place like a coffee cafe or a bar where there should be internet access for you boys to be doing work. Well, you boys should. There's always work to do, boys. There's always some kind of work. You want something to do while you wait for your girlfriend, your date to maybe or maybe not show up? You go to the coffee store. You know what you do? You start setting up your estate planning. Everybody needs estate planning, right? You go there. You start working on your taxes. You go there and you start ordering stuff on Amazon that you happen to need, vitamins, stuff like. There's always regular day-to-day stuff you could do on the internet or on a laptop. And then you sit there and you're doing your work, and then the girl comes in. Cool, you got a date. If the girl doesn't come in, that's fine. You did not waste your time. You're an hour of your time, young hour, 18 to 22. 1 hour, boys, is worth $430 for you. Maybe someday I'll talk about why. Ken Rose says for $5, he says, hello, thank you, Ken. Sam Whiskey, $5. South Dakota internet hasn't looked that good since 2004. Cappy, what is this dad you speak of? Well, back in the days before feminism, apparently, this was a thing. Okay, sit down. Okay, check the fucking dumb shits from the past. Apparently, until like 50 years ago, there were these things called families. There's like a dad and a mom. They stuck together. They didn't just get together to fuck and spit out kids and then outsource the kids to daycares or the school, and then the mom leaves and takes the guy's money, or the dad was never around. Apparently, like it was the majority of time, there'd be a mom and a dad, and there'd be a ceremony called a wedding, and they vow to stick together. And then they'd have kids. And then the dad would raise their children about worldly things like fiscal responsibility or honor or integrity or ethics and not committing crime and the proper use of violence and the proper use of wisdom and or stoicism. But those fucking uncultured, those fools, they didn't realize that second grade school teachers who have no real world work experience know a lot better about how to raise their children. And you don't need no man. I mean, come on, man. Like government checks are so much better than dads, right? And so that was I'm a little bit older than you, Sam. I was right at the tail end of it. I heard about these nuclear and dads. And can you get this? Sometimes the whole family would shut the fuck up and do what the dad said because he was the one that made the money. Can you imagine that? Could you imagine? And ironically, in that system, there was less antidepressant use. Thank God we got the society we got now. All right, that's it. Links to everything below. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.